Welcome into another edition of Sports Junkies. I'm Steve Sparky Pfeiffer from Sports Radio 105.7 FM, The Fan in Milwaukee, host of the Wendy's Big Show weekday afternoons from 2 until 6. Other end of the table, you know him as Gary Wolf, columnist here at the Racine Journal-Times. Guy in the middle, if you're from Racine, you obviously know who he is. Coach Booker from Racine Case girls basketball team. Coach, thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. All right, so let's first start off and talk about the girls basketball team a little bit and where you guys are at this year. Part of a growing process probably right now?
Well, it shouldn't be, but it is.
Yeah.
It's still a growing process. We're not as far along as I thought we would be, with the amount of girls that we have had. Some been playing ball ever since their freshman year, so we should be a lot further along than we are now.
Spoken like a true coach. Never satisfied, right?
Never.
But, Steve's right, though. You got a lot of young girls, and I would imagine patience is a virtue with this team that it's going to take them some time.
Yeah, patient, but I'm still, as a coach, I'm still not totally satisfied because I think we should be at least 3 or 4 games above 500. We don't let some games get away. And we just have not been playing that well. That's all.
All right, well, then I got to ask you this then. Because you're saying, and now, again, I don't know every game. I wasn't every game. So I'm just going to ask you. Because me being a Bucks guy, I host a Bucks post-game show after games and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. I'm watching that young team. I'm watching them squander opportunities as well. So it's always, how much of that is the youth? When you lose a basketball game, at the end where you go, man, we should have won 2 or 3 more. Is that part of the youth and the learning process, or is it other stuff?
I think it could be, I think it's part of youth, and part of it is me too.
I find that hard to believe.
Yeah.
No, is it?
Sometimes, as a coach, I gotta, when, there's certain situations I gotta put them in so they can be successful, and sometimes I don't think, I don't think that doesn't happen, and I don't want them to always think that every time we get beat, it's their fault.
Right. So you take some of the blame too.
Oh, definitely.
So I just want to talk about you briefly. What sparked your interest in becoming a girls' head coach? I know you've been involved in basketball in the community.
Now hold on a second.
For a long time.
Right there. I got some ammo. See, down here, Gary Wolf doesn't know I did this.
Oh, here we go.
I've got an old article. And I got some
there
stuff.
We go.
I got some stuff highlighted from this old article from 1990.
You got to give him credit. He does this homework.
Back in the day, Gary D'Amato was here.
Oh my goodness!
And I tweeted him this morning. I said, "Hey man, thanks for the research." And he saw. He goes, "Oh my God, that's a long time ago." But this is back in the day. Now here are some of the quotes I got. Dave Scott, whose son Mike, who you coach, said this quote about you. Quote, "The guy isn't just a basketball coach, he's a humanitarian. His ultimate goal may be to have an outstanding basketball team, but he builds the human being first. The kids listen to Wally because they know he cares."
Wow, that's quite a comment.
Well,
that was in 1990.
Well, hey, Mike was a good player, and his family did a lot. His family did a lot to help me out too. So yeah.
Humanitarian. That's big words. Now it gets better. Further you go into the article.
Hold it. Are we going to have a special ceremony to anoint him for sainthood by the time this is over?
We might. But this gets better and better. Because I'll be honest with you, man, I didn't know much about you. So I said, we're having Wally Booker, and I said, okay, I'll look up and see what I can find. This I didn't know. So now I read, and it says, Booker also was a starting guard on Park's basketball team back in the day. And it was while he was...
What year was that, by the way?
Had to be 65.
64, 65. Right? He graduated in 65. Yeah. And it was while he was holding his game on the playground that he noticed talented but raw 14-year-old. Do you know who that was, Gary Wolfel?
14.
Who he took under his wings.
At 14.
The kid was 14. He wasn't. He was already out. He was in high school.
Abdul Jelani.
Jim Jones.
Jim Jones?
In no time, Booker was working with Jim Jones
about this.
Right.
He's hanging around with the wrong crew here.
Right. Jones said in this article, Wally was the first guy who really spent time with me, who helped raise my horizons. We got to be good friends. I even dated one of his sisters.
There we go.
He got to be like my big brother. The thing I've always respected about Wally, he was always able to relate to the kids. He could talk to us in such a way that we felt he really cared about us as people.
Well, hey, that's what it's all about. Like I tell people, I I like to talk about myself.
Well, that's good because I'm going to. I got
you know, like I actually, you know, like they say, well, you did this. See, if kids don't allow you to walk through that door, you're not going to be able to get through. You know, and those guys did. And like nowadays, with some of the kids now, it's kind of hard to get in. You know,
because they don't want the help.
Some
I think they do, but some don't.
You actually think that's changed over the years? Or, I mean, it's more prevalent now than it was, 10, 20 years ago?
Oh, it's definite.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I move on.
Welcome to the Wally Booker ceremonial.
Another quote from this 1990 article in the Racine Journal-Times. The more kids I reach, the more I can help, Booker says. I would love to coach at the high school level. I feel I have something to offer. I feel I'd run a first-class program. That was 1990, looking ahead. Here you are. Are you doing what you thought you would do?
I'm doing what I thought I would, that I wanted to do, but that really, I really wanted to run a boys program. That's what I really wanted to do. But when you don't, that's one thing I really preach to kids. If you don't get that education, it's going to...
You talk about that here, about not going to college.
Yeah, it's going to hold you back.
Right. So how did you get the opportunity to finally get to coach high school?
Well, Bob Hayes, he had asked me to help him with his, with his team, when he took over the case. But I thought I would be more help to him on the outside rather than being on the inside, because when you're on the inside, your hands are tied to what you can and what you can't do, like with the ruling and stuff.
Right.
So I decided I would just stay on the outside, and, I can work with him. And then Willie Mellon gave me an opportunity to be his assistant as a girls coach. So I took that on for a while, and then Hayes and I went over to Case for a year when Jeff had to take, when Trello had to take the
leave. Oh, right,
Horlick. Yes. Yeah. Took the leave of absence. Mm-hmm. So, so Hayes and I did that.
You guys had a pretty good year, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
And then Willie had to, because I guess you can't be administrative and be a
coach,
head coach.
Right.
So, so that's when that door opened.
Really? That's crazy. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
I got more. Now,
oh, wait a second.
Later in this article, this is...
I don't know if you're John Wooden, Mike Krzyzewski.
It doesn't matter. We're going to treat him like that.
John Thompson, you go right down the line.
Now, I got to know what happened here, because this part of the end of this teases what was about to happen later, because this was written in June 17th of 1990. So this was saying Jim Jones was bringing Michael Jordan to Racine for a sports biz basketball camp.
I was at that.
From 23rd to the 27th at Park, and he couldn't wait to introduce Jordan to Booker. Jones said, quote, as much as I respect Michael, I respect Wally Booker even more. He's just done so much for Racine and the community that I can't say enough. So, did you get to meet Michael Jordan, and how did that go?
Yes, I did. It was just, like an introduction, but it was a thrilling one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He didn't want to play you?
No. No,
I didn't want to.
You had some serious.
I didn't want to take on that. I didn't want to take on that challenge.
That's back when Michael was the man.
He was the man.
At that point, it wasn't old Michael. This was
young
Michael playing.
To piggyback off this Jordan story, when he came to Racine, he left to go back to Chicago. Do you remember this, Wally?
Oh, yes.
He got into a car accident on 94.
Oh, my God.
And our scanner came in, and because I covered it when he was here in Racine.
Right.
And I go, oh, my Lord. Michael Jordan, nobody knew what happened, the extent of it. But we were all thinking the worst, of course. And it's like, holy cow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's crazy stuff. So I know you didn't expect all that when you were coming here.
No.
And doing all this. But when I came across the article this morning on the internet, I was like, oh my God. You've been doing so much in here. And there is something in here, and I didn't highlight it, and I wish I would have, that says back in the day, you would put people, here it is. He lines the kids up, looks them right in the eye, and asks them, do you smoke? Do you do drugs? Not in an aggressive way, in a caring way. He's very forceful and very sincere about it. He puts him on the line. You answer me, you tell me the truth. He demands to see the report cards. The kids listen to him because they know he cares about them. You still doing that same type of stuff today, Coach?
Yeah, we still talk about it.
Yeah?
We still talk about it. We really do. And thing I try to give players and, young people in general who I deal with like at the school, this is not about basketball. This is about life, what are you going to do after? Like I ask my kid, what are you going to be doing 3 years from now, 4 years from now, because you got to move on. Sports can always come to an end, easily. So I try to deal with not just athletes, but, like all the students, like in general.
So of all the athletes that you've dealt with over the years, was there one incident that really gave you a lot of gratification, a lot of satisfaction? Like you did something to impact that person, maybe got them on the right track?
Well, you know what? The thing that impacted me the most was in, I think it was my 92 class, Marcus West, Kevin Griffin, my nephew Deontay Malone, Brett Krause, Bill Mayu.
That's a pretty good class.
I played fantasy football at Bill Mayu. How about that?
Well, the thing that impacted me the most was that all those guys went on to school.
Okay.
Every last one of them. And that's, that's been the biggest. Then guys like Brian Bedford, Sheree Chambers, Barry Thompson, Teron Barker, Karan, and, like all those, you like in that outfit.
Okay.
They went on to school.
So you were born and raised in Racine?
No.
Where were you born and raised?
Mississippi, man. I was born in Greenwood, Mississippi.
And you moved to Racine when?
At the age of 12.
Age of 12, okay.
You still haven't figured out it snows here? Why are you still here, man? It's cold.
I'm crazy. Crazy. When I was down there, I seen snow once, and by noon, it had all melted.
Yeah, I wish.
Let
We
me
got a
ask
blizzard
you,
coming on Tuesday, so you got that to look forward to.
I hope not.
So you've been here a fair amount of time.
Yes.
Over those years, and I'm going to put you on the spot here, the best girls basketball player you saw, the best boys basketball player you saw. It's a tough call because obviously there's a lot, but I mean, if you push came to shove, you could have one from each category.
If I could just have one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, see, again, this is, in my opinion, I think sometimes, coming from Kenosha, sometimes people will say, well, Nick Van Exel was the best to ever come out of Kenosha, but there were better players than him that just never got out, that never got the breaks that Van Exel got.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he may bring up somebody that people may not know as well.
Well, I'm going to put, like with the boys,
Okay.
I'm going to put it this way. The best player that I think, speak of talent and stuff like that, was, probably was Bobby Jackson.
Okay. That's nobody would have said that coming.
It was probably, and I think you can ask any of the guys that played with me, played back in his day.
Yeah.
They would, I think they would tell you the same thing.
Okay, tell us, Steve and I obviously aren't aware of Bobby Jackson to the degree that you are. Tell us a little, what school he played at and...
Bobby played at Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was he a teammate of yours or not?
No. He's somewhat young now. Him and Jamil Gorey and...
Oh, were they part of the team that played Buckner's team?
No. Bobby wasn't with him at that time.
Okay.
But, but that's basically who he came up playing with.
Really. That's
Now,
good.
how tall?
Probably about maybe 6 foot at best, and probably could jump out of this building.
He was that athletic, huh?
He was fantastic.
See, now you got some research to do, Gary.
Yeah, that's good. Okay,
Go
you didn't
on.
answer the girls one
That's
yet.
good.
One more. We got putting you on the spot here.
Just one. I got to go two. I got to go.
Okay, two. That's
I
good.
got to go Logic and Henny.
Okay, Samantha Logic
yeah.
and Sonia Henning from Horlick.
Yes.
That's a pretty good tandem.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
Yeah.
He didn't say your girl, though.
Which one?
Your girl from Prairie.
What,
Gabby Ortiz.
Yeah, well, she's
Right.
right up there. I mean, I agree.
Gab is right there. She's she's a great player.
To me, Sonia is, in my mind, the best because she accomplished the most.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she played at Stanford on a national championship team.
Mm-hmm.
She played in the Olympics. I mean, she had the package, and now she's...
Sonya had it. I mean, she was good, but I might be a little biased because Logic played, played around me. But I think you can line them up I don't think you go wrong with either.
Crystal
choice.
Ellis.
Oh,
another
Crystal
one.
Ellis good.
Latanya Sims. I mean, you
Yeah,
can go down
there's
the
a
road.
bunch.
This has been a great city for
No
basketball.
question. Yep. Hey, Coach, thanks a lot for coming in, man.
Hey, no problem. I really appreciate it. I enjoyed it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
And when are we going to have the ceremony for sainthood?
I don't know. We'll figure something out. Catch us next time here at Sports Junkies. And who knows? We'll see Coach Booker again at some point here with the Racine girls basketball team. Have a good day.